Welcome in, everybody. It's the Win Daily MLB DFS show. It's the early lock show. It's Tony. It's Dave. This is 11-game slate, July 14th, Thursday. Big slate for a Thursday. We're approaching All-Star Week. I can't wait. But Dave, it's been a while since you've been on the microphone together.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm so excited, Tony. Obviously, getting on the mic with you, but when we get on here and talk Thursday slates, we're cutting up 5 games, and we're just like, oh, where do we pick from? But tonight, we got the plethora of games and like almost lots of riches, right? So many names on the slate, so many aces. It's going to be fun.
Plethora, he said. Plethora. I love it. Right. I love it. And let's get right into it, man. Listen, there's a lot of good arms on this slate, but we can only pick one that be our ace. That one guy. Dave, where are we going here, man?
It was tough. I was up and down all around, but for me, it's got to be Burnsy. Burns has really found his stride. You think of the year he's had, and you're like, okay, he's not doing so well. Then you peel back the numbers, 2.2 ERA, top 10 in the MLB. You look at his last 5 starts, averaged just about 30 DK points. Last time he faced these Giants was earlier this season. He had a 6.2 inning game, racked up 34 DK points, only allowed 2 hits and 11 Ks. I think we got a good situation. Yes, he's a little different on the road. I love him way more at home typically, but this Giants lineup, they've had some outbursts lately, but those have been against left-handed pitchers. Mackenzie Gore, they roped. Let's not even talk, but they did rope Dallas Keuchel, who shouldn't be in the MLB, another lefty. They struggle a little more reverse righties. We saw Merrill Kelly have a good game against them. I think Burns can really chew them up. So Burns is my top guy on the list. Not surprising, I know, but there's a lot of arms on there, a lot to choose from. I'm not scared of Burns.
Yeah, and listen, don't be scared of the high value. He's 10-6. I get it. But just remember something. Just K potential alone. This guy's 45 Ks in his last 5 starts, 2 double-digit outings in his last 5. So he's averaging 9 Ks per game through that span, okay? So he's going to give you the Ks. He's going to give you, not to mention, 7 innings plus. So right there, you're going to get your money's worth from Corbin Burns, and most likely against this. I know, again, bigger ballpark, too. You're playing in San Francisco. Yep. So it's going to be a little hard to register some of those cheap hits. Now, as always, we go not an actual punt pitcher, but 1B, another guy. Not every time you do your lineup, you're going to get 2 $10,000 guys. Who knows who's going to spend $20,000 on pitching? So, Dave, is there another guy maybe you want to pair him up with to save us some cash?
Yeah, I want to go Framber Valdez, and he'll be my 1B, but I can't pair him up because those salaries, that only leaves you with about 3,600, 3,500. Yeah, so if you want to shift and play in different lineups, Burns, Valdez, playing separately, I'm okay with that. But the guy I do want to pair him up with when I drop a little lower, 8,300, I'm looking at Tristan McKenzie. He's got a game and a matchup that I really like against the Detroit Tigers. Yes, Detroit's hitting a little better lately, but let's look at McKenzie lately too, right? Last 2 games, 13 innings, no earned runs, 11 Ks, putting up an average of 27 DK points. On the year, 3.47 ERA, pretty solid. And he's had a performance against Detroit earlier where he put up 26.3 DK points, 7.2 innings in that game with 8 Ks. I really like McKenzie. And in that spot, 8,300, you're looking, Tone, if we get over 20, he's exceeded that value that we'd like to see, 2 to 2.5x. So I think he's got a really high ceiling and a low floor against Detroit. So I'm going to look to pair him up as my 1B.
I like that. And why I like it too is, I look back and I go back 4 games. He's playing in Colorado. Colorado is a stadium we always attack. What does he do? He goes 6 innings. He gives us 7 hits, but only 1 earned run and strikes out 6. So if he could put together a game in Colorado, he could definitely do it at home for some real valuable money in Cleveland. Now, I'm going to go right over to those bats, man, because we always got to talk about those stacks, big stack potential here. Who's going to be on fire tonight? Who's going to be that team that we're going to hitch our wagon to?
Yeah, it's got to be the Blue Jays. And, I hate to say because you obviously see what I'm wearing, but they took it to Zach Wheeler on Wednesday. And the firing of their manager, it's always done it. Did it with the Phillies with Rob Thompson. It's done it with a lot of teams in the past. I can look back to the day when Jack McKeon took over the Florida Marlins, and all of a sudden,
there's a name.
They went on a roll, man. And it has worked in the past, and I think it works definitely for short stints. So I think the Blue Jays get a little wake-up call. And I think they showed it already on Wednesday. Now they get one of the lowest salaried pitchers on the schedule. They're at home, so they can stay comfortable, stay hot. They face Carlos Hernandez from KC, ERA of 9.10. It's ugly, right? Last three games, really, 18 earned runs, so an average of 6 earned runs in those 3 games. I think Toronto stays high. And look at guys like Teoscar Hernandez. He had a tremendous 2-game series against the Phillies. There's some other guys in there. Springer, Gurriel had a nice one. So there's some bats in there you can really grab.
I love playing Gurriel, and I will say from an FFVP level, Ramil Tapia is on my list. Now, again, and you have to watch out for Tapia because now that Kirk is back, or I should say Jansen's back, Kirk's going to be, back to DHing, so they're going to kind of, back and forth with him and Bichette. So if he's in the lineup, again, this is a guy that is foretold, and he's going to do a lot on the field when it comes to the offensive part of the plate. And for 2,100, you get a cash value from 7 to 12. That's a really good value. Now, Dave, what I will say is another team that I like for a sneaky stack here is I like Cleveland. You talk about ERAs. Okay, Cleveland goes up against Detroit against Elvin Rodriguez, 11.51. His last 2 starts, he doesn't even make it out of the 4th, giving up 19 hits and 19 earned runs, 7 home runs. This guy is a train wreck right now, and Cleveland's starting to catch a little fire. And I'll tell you what, another FFVP value.
This is my guy. You're gonna say
it. Go ahead. Who you got?
Nolan Jones.
Oh, okay. I'm going Franmil Reyes. He's a little above at 3,400, but yeah, man. But listen, the value's there, right?
Yeah, Nolan Jones is batting .410, and since he's been called up, he's averaged 10 DK points a game, and they won't move him off 2,000. And you get we'll say a gas can in this Rodriguez.
Yes.
2,000. I like Reyes too. He's a masher, right? So I think the sad part is you're really only going to see this guy maybe once through the lineup. So you got to take advantage early. But I think there's good value. I love Reyes. I'm with you. And I think Jones is great value with the FFVP.
And speaking of gas can, we got a little word about a little promo running right now. Want to try out WinDailySports.com and take advantage of our summer sale? Sign up today for our special weekly promo of only $5.99 to gain you access to read all of our articles, check out our projection models, and talk one-on-one with professionals in our expert chat. Use promo code SUMMERSALE, SUMMERSALE, to drop the weekly cost from $14.99 all the way down to $5.99 for a premium gold membership to WinDailySports.com. Make sure you're subscribed to this video, you're hitting the like button, and you're checking the show notes for all the details. $5.99 a week is tremendous value. Listen, man, you can't even buy a Happy Meal for $5.99 right now, and we're gonna make you some money. So speaking of value, Dave, let's think about this as we close this show out. Any value bats, any value pitches, lineups, you name it, whatever, or pitchers, not pitches, but anything of value you want to say before we get out of here.
I'm going to keep an eye on Cutter Crawford from Boston. The number I like to draw a line at 7K. He's below that 7K value for a pitcher in the bottom 10% of salaries. It's a guy coming up out of minors. I get it, but a high-profile guy. He has pitched a handful of games this year, but his last 2 have been really good. He's averaged just about 25 DK points a game in those 2 games. Facing Tampa, and Tampa's a team we don't always like to attack. Very strong against right-handed pitchers, but they do K a lot. And another factor with Tampa you have to consider, no wonder. He went back on the DL with the injured wrist. And, as long as he's not in that lineup, you get a lot of volatility. So I could see some value in a pitcher like Cutter Crawford tomorrow. It's been a low-scoring series in general anyway. We could get some here.
And I'll tell you, how can you not like a guy with
Cutter,
right? Yeah. Gotta be Cutter. I love it. I love that name. But as always, Win Daily Sports, where you find us at Win Daily Sports on all social formats. Make sure you're following the show, hitting the like button, hitting the subscription button, getting all the alerts for when we go live, and make sure you're on the site, WinDailySports.com, for all the great content. I'm Tony. This is Dave. We're going to get out of here. Everybody stay profitable, and we'll catch you here next time.